Hi everyone, my name's Rachel from Rachel Has Plans. I'm the face behind the planner and the camera, I guess you could say, with all the YouTube videos. I have a few new followers on Instagram, and they were mentioning how they would like to know more about me because at first all my followers were friends and family, and now I'm starting to get a few more followers that are strangers, I guess you could say, or fellow planners of the planner community. So they asked me to make a video all about myself and kind of do an introduction about who is behind the planners and the planner spreads. So, like I said, my name's Rachel. I have been planning in a planner essentially since like middle school, so like 2006, 2007, that kind of time frame. And I remember first planning with a couple of like those free planners that you get from your school, and I remember, I think it was near the end of my 8th grade year, I just didn't like the free planners anymore. I didn't think that they were working for me, they were ugly, and I couldn't be creative with them. So I remember getting a couple of planners from Target, and I don't remember what the company was called, and I know that Target doesn't have them anymore, but they were kind of like these eco-friendly planners that I just adored. They had like an eco-friendly recycled paper and recycled planner cover. And I just thought that they were the best planners ever. They were super cute, floral prints and things like that. And I remember taking highlighters and just going ahead and highlighting them, color coding everything in my planner. I remember picking one up pretty much every single year throughout high school. And then college started. I started college in 2014, and I didn't use a planner. I don't know why, because I had been for several years after, or like before that. And I remember getting put on academic probation. I totally tanked my freshman year in college, and I wasn't quite sure why. And at my university, they actually had these advising sessions where you could go in and you get advising, and it was mandatory for you to do it if you were on academic probation, because they wanted you to talk to like a counselor, an advisor, and find out how come you were failing all these classes, what was going wrong. And she kind of pretty much said that I had poor time management skills, and that she started asking, like, do you have a planner, do you have an agenda or anything like that? And I said, no, I don't actually, and I usually do. So I thought it was pretty odd, and she was like, sounds like you really need one. So once again, I go to Target, try and get another one of those eco-friendly, I really wish I could remember the company name, planners, and I discovered that they were all sold out. So I've got one at Target that was like fairly similar to the same style. I've always picked up horizontal planners at that time, and I just loved the horizontal layout. But I wasn't in love with the planner, and I don't know, it was working, but it wasn't fulfilling to me, if that makes any sense. And I remember being on Pinterest one day, and during this time I was working 2 jobs and going to school full time. My life was pretty chaotic, and I was scrolling through Pinterest just, casually in bed, and I saw this like most gorgeous book I'd ever seen, and it was the Happy Planner, and I just absolutely loved it. I loved the layout. It was a vertical layout at that time. Happy Planner had just started, like just a few months before I discovered it on Pinterest, and it was just the most beautiful planner I'd ever seen, and I immediately wanted to get my hands on one. And luckily for me, they had just started selling the Happy Planner at Michael's. So Michael's was down the street, and there's, I think, only 2 Michael's at the time in Las Vegas that actually sold the Happy Planner in person. Now, of course, almost every single Michael's sells Happy Planner, and other stores too. So I drove to Michael's down the street from my house, and they had it in stock. The exact planner that I found on Pinterest. I remember it having like, I think it was gold Happy Planner discs, and classic size, of course, because that was the first one that they came out with, and black cover with a gold heart, and it was just beautiful, and I was immediately obsessed. I picked up, I think they came out with like a small sticker pack, if I remember correctly, at that time, and I bought it, and I just started planning in a Happy Planner. I thought it was beautiful. I remember I was even sick in the hospital for a week, and my mom brought it to me because she knew how happy it made me and how excited I was to start with this planner. And it was amazing. Granted, it was a vertical layout, and I had to get used to that. I still am not a fan of vertical layouts. I know a lot of people are, but I was not. And then I think, so that year was 2015 when I got my first Happy Planner, and I loved it. And then after that, I used the Happy Planner until just recently. I loved their mini layout, but the mini layout became something too small for me and all the things that I required. I actually never officially got a classic size or big size horizontal layout. I just used the horizontal and the mini, and then I transitioned to the vertical layout for the classic again because I wanted to do an hourly layout, but I wasn't quite happy, and that was in 2018 when I made my first official like hourly layout, and I just wasn't happy with it. It was kind of ugly. I'm not the best, most artistic person. I kind of want just to put stickers on it and have someone else do the rest of like the color coding and stuff like that in my planner. And then I got my one recently that I was first posting on my Instagram, and that was my dashboard layout of the Happy Planner, which, don't get me wrong, I loved it. It was awesome. It just wasn't functional enough for me as a college student, and I was thinking, if I can't use this in undergrad and like get what I want out of it, how am I going to get what I want out of it when I do grad school? So that's when I started looking into other planners, but I was like, nah, I'm not quite happy, and I don't want to spend the money after I already have this Happy Planner, you know? And then drama kind of went down in the Happy Planner scene, and like, I don't know the exact details. Nobody really does, but it just sounds that it wasn't right, and I wasn't happy with the Happy Planner, so I switched. And I was following Sapira, the owner of Dulce Planner stickers, and she was posting this gorgeous planner that was just beautiful, and I kept admiring all her spreads that she was doing. So I looked into it. It's called Amplify Planner, and I decided to buy one. And so far I'm loving it. I think this is my second full week planning in it, and I've gotten so much more use out of it than what I ever did with a Happy Planner, especially during summertime. Summertime was always my worst times, or like when I was on break, like winter break or summer break, spring break. I would never use my Happy Planner, but I am surprisingly using my planner a lot right now with the Amplify Planner. And I'm also lost my train of thought but I'm also getting a lot done. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, I'm getting a lot done with my Amplify Planner, so I'm really liking it. And I am 24. I'm about to turn 25 in October. Kind of scary, but whatever. I guess I'm still young. Quarter life crisis, right? And I just finished my undergrad, and I'm going to start pharmacy school. That's grad school that I'm going to in August, and I'm hoping to hopefully keep up my planner account during pharmacy school. We'll see. That's my number one priority, not my planner account, so hopefully it'll all work out. And I want to become a pharmacist, so stay tuned for probably more pharmacy plan things and pharmacy related things written down in my planner. Alright, so questions. I asked a bunch of people on Instagram, all my followers, what would they like to see, or what would they like me to answer, questions, things like that about planners or about myself. So let's get started with those questions. So first question is from my friend Emily, and she asks, what kinds of pens do you recommend for planners? Pretty much any pen that works in a planner is a good pen to use, or a pen that I would recommend. Of course, everybody has their own choice in pens. My favorites personally, I have a few that took many years to figure out. So number one favorite pen of all time is the Uniball Signo pens. This is the regular 207, not bold, not fine tip, just regular. Here's the pen right here. And I like it. It's a gel pen. I'm not really a fan of just plain ballpoint pens. For some reason, they just don't feel right to me. I like gel pens, but not too much of gel. I don't want it to smear. These ones do not smear, so I think it's perfect, and it's just the right amount of thickness and thinness on paper. It's the one that I mainly use in my planners. Now, along with that, if you do want a ballpoint pen, I recommend the Papermate Inkjoy pens. Those are my favorite. I have several colors of them, and it's usually what I use for school too. So Papermate Inkjoy. These ones are fairly cheap as well. So these ones are good. Like I said, they're not gel pens, they're ballpoint pens, and it just doesn't feel right, but it'll get the job done. It's a pen. Another type of pen that I do like is, and I don't think I have a black one, but Papermate Flare pens. Those ones are really good. I'm kind of a fan of Papermate. That's like the only pen brand that I use besides gel pens being from Uniball, or I think it's called G2 is the one that I use at work, but I don't use those in my planner. They kind of leak through a little bit more. But yeah, so Papermate Flare pens. Those ones are, or these ones are really good. I use these more for decorative purposes. Sometimes you'll see me use them in the planner, but not that much. But I do like them. I also like them for doing study guides for school. Let me know if you guys ever want me to do like a study guide kind of video. Because I know I have a few college friends that follow me. So let me know. Maybe I'll do something like that for pharmacy school once it starts up. But yeah, so those are pretty much my favorites. And then favorite highlighters, I love, your basic Sharpie highlighters, but my all-time favorite highlighters, which you've probably seen me use a lot, are the Zebra mild liners. I like the double fine tip and the double point tip ones, because on one side you kind of have like this kind of tip, this like a chisel tip. So that one's nice for making like straight fine lines as much as possible. But then I also like this other end tip that's more like a pointed tip, because these ones are good for writing. My friend Iris asks, what are your preferred planning times? Honestly, I know a lot of people have preferred planning times. I don't. It's terrible. I've tried to do it. I've tried to work out a schedule of some sorts. It just doesn't happen. Planning's usually like whenever I want to be happy is when I plan. So sometimes I'll go and do like 4 spreads all at once. Sometimes I'll just do 1. It's actually honestly a struggle for me to do plan with me videos, because I'm like, oh, I already did this week's plan spreads already, so let me do one that's 2 weeks out. Maybe they'll just appreciate it. But yeah, I don't have a set time. I've tried doing like Sundays, because that's what most people seem to do, where they just plan out all their weeks on Sundays, because they usually have a Monday start planner. Doesn't work, not for me at least. But if you do have any type of like planning schedule, let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your planning schedules. Maybe one that I haven't heard of yet might work for me. Who knows? Another question from Perhaps It's Liz on Instagram, and she asks, great questions, 2 of them, I love it. So what inspired my love for planning? Honestly, I think it's the OCD in me. I love being organized. I love being a perfectionist and getting everything done. It sucks, but I love being overwhelmed too, which is really bad, and I need to work on that, but I like it. It keeps me busy. It keeps my life fulfilled, if that makes sense. And so just keeping track of everything when I'm busy helps me, and so that's why I love planning so much, because it reminds me of how I'm staying busy and how I'm getting so much done in life. And I like that fulfillment, accomplishment, achievements, that feeling that you get where you're just like, yes, I did this, and my planner proves it too. For any hobbies, I have lots of hobbies. Number 1 hobby of all time is playing video games, I would say. I love playing video games. I play Xbox, PC. My favorite video games of all time is the Sims series on PC. I tried getting into it on console. It's not the same. Sims 4 is similar to the PC version on console. It is, but PC or nothing for Sims. That's how I am. But everything else I pretty much play on Xbox. Right now, I am catching up on the Assassin's Creed series. I've picked up Assassin's Creed Brotherhood for the first time since like 2012, so kind of playing that again. If you play video games, you have any recommendations, let me know down below. I'd love to hear more recommendations. And then, do you have any hobbies? Oh. And then, along with playing video games, I also love watching YouTube. I follow several YouTubers, and my backlog of YouTube videos to watch later is over 500 videos, which is pretty bad, and I have like hours of content to catch up on, and I really should be doing that, but instead I'm watching Babysitter's Club on Netflix, so oh well. And then, who's my favorite YouTuber? My favorite YouTuber right now, coincidence, she has the same name as me, Rachel Southard. She's a DO student. DOs are kind of similar to MDs, so doctors. She's going to medical school right now, so it's kind of cool seeing how she is taking on grad school. I think she's about to start her second year. She's my favorite to watch, but I also love watching Aspen and Parker, and the Coney Jolies, and the Divine Family, just a bunch of vloggers pretty much. I love watching vlogs. And then my third favorite hobby to do is probably reading books. I love reading. I've loved reading since I was a young child. I wish that I could read more, and unfortunately because of social media my attention span is kind of short, so it takes me a while to read books, but I'm working on it. And right now I'm reading the new prequel to the Hunger Games, and so far I'm not that far into it. I kind of wish I was, but it's about President Snow, and he's just not as cool or like interesting as Katniss was, so hopefully I'll get to finish it soon. And Midnight Sun, the Edward Cullen's version of Twilight, is coming out in August, so I can't wait. Two of my favorite book series having books released in 2020. 2020 is not that bad, right? Maybe. 2 questions actually from my friend Jess on Instagram. She asked 2 questions. So the first one is, how much time do you spend each day writing in your planner? A bit too much, I think, maybe. I don't know. So decorating a spread usually takes me about 20 minutes per spread. So it's not too bad, but usually I'll sit and I'll binge watch Netflix or YouTube and just attack my planner, and I'll end up doing like 4, 8 spreads, especially with the daily layouts in the Amplify planner. I'm loving it. So probably an hour, maybe. Usually when school time starts, I'll already have my planner pre-planned out, like my happy planners. I already had the spreads decorated like way out far in advance before school even started. I don't know if I'm going to do that again for pharmacy school, because pharmacy school just seems so much more busier, but then that gives me the excuse to maybe do it, so that way I don't have to focus on it and spend so much tongue twister and spend so much time on it. So we'll figure it out, I guess, when we get there. I don't know, especially with the Amplify planner being a quarterly planner. I'm going to have so much more time planning, but it makes me happy, so maybe I should keep it that way. But yeah, I would say anywhere from maybe 20 minutes to an hour a day. Rough estimate. Maybe I should track it sometime and give you a proper answer, Jess. Her second question was, when did you start using specialized planners like the Happy Planner? So kind of like my backstory that I did at the beginning of the video, I started in 2015 with the Happy Planner, and I've been using the Happy Planner since 2015 up till recently, in 2020, like about 3 weeks ago, and I switched to Amplify Planner. I've never used any other planner religiously. I did try using the Passion Planner because I got one for free from a planning event, and I will admit it's a great planner. It just wasn't working for me. I don't like the bound, like, I don't like Amplify Planner spiral bound, but I love that you can, here, I have it right here. I love that you can, flip it over and make it one page. With the Passion Planner, I wasn't able to do that, so that's why I didn't get a Passion Planner. Honestly, I would have. It's a great planner, and it's cheap too, and they're very supportive. If you buy a planner, they give a planner to someone in need of a planner or any other school supplies and things like that, and I think they're a great company. I just didn't like the bounding system. That's also why I like the Happy Planner so much, because you could also flip it over. In the Happy Planner, you could remove the papers and stick them back in. So hopefully the Amplify Planner will be able to do that sometime soon. But I will say I'm glad that the Amplify Planner does not have that system, because then I will keep my planners together. Because a lot of people ask me to post videos of my previous planners. I don't have them. I threw them out. after I would keep like 3 months at a time in my Happy Planner, and I throw out all the old ones. So that was pretty bad of me, but oh well, you live and you learn. And so we'll find out if I keep my Amplify planner all together or not. But yeah. So that's about it for the questions. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments, and maybe I'll make another one of these Q&A videos. But that's about it. Nice meeting you all, and see you next time. Bye!